Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video I'd like to discuss the fascist bromance has been stretched by Trump's behaviour towards both Gaza and Ukraine as North Korea calls out America on human rights and freedoms, and Nigel Farage seems to go against some in Trump's team to insist that Ukraine must be allowed to join NATO. This is some weird times we're living in right here. But first, for daily political commentary, please hit the subscribe button to stay notified. So according to reports in Al Jazeera, North Korea has attacked Trump's plans to evict 2 million people permanently from Gaza in order to make room for his planned luxury property development. He's been trying to pressure surrounding countries, Jordan, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, into absorbing the displaced Palestinians so that Trump can own some prime beachfront properties. It's been pointed out that when Trump has been asked by what authority he could take Palestinian land, he said, American authority. But of course, as America has no claim on the land, what he actually means is military might. Yet when he talks about who would own the land, he doesn't say America, he doesn't say we will. He uses the term I and me. In other words, Trump wants to personally own the land and personally profit from its development into what he calls the Riviera of the Middle East. An idea that has been dismissed around the world, but one of the weirdest ones is from North Korea, who have labelled the plan as robbery and slaughter. In fact, the plan is so horrific that hundreds of rabbis in America have added their names to a protest describing it as ethnic cleansing and making clear their firm opposition. Now, obviously, North Korea never has anything good to say about the United States in general, but Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump seem to get on pretty well during his first presidential term. Indeed, Trump spent his first term attacking America's democratic allies and cozying up to its authoritarian enemies and opponents. And there's a sense in which there's nothing particularly surprising about this statement from North Korea. They have diplomatic ties with Palestine, but not America. So obviously they're going to side with the Palestinians, regardless of the situation or their own general principles. But it's still very weird to see North Korea basically attack a plan on the basis that it abuses human rights. Like, how low has Trump brought America where it's getting called out for an attack on freedom by North pissing Korea? So the fascist bromance between, Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un may not be quite what it was. Mind you, it still seems to be flourishing between Trump and Putin, doesn't it? The one where you might have expected some friction. Trump's private call with Putin has raised alarm bells. Not strictly speaking the fact that a call took place, though people are always going to be suspicious given that Trump famously fanboyed Putin during his first term. But because afterwards Trump talked about being okay with the idea of Ukraine being forcibly kept out of NATO, something that only Putin could possibly want, and strongly suggesting that Trump was still being swayed by the Russian president, rather than laying down the law to the guy who's in a weak position. Which I don't think was inevitable. Like, you could see why Trump admired Putin a few years ago. He seemed to be strong. He had an iron grip on his country. He could assassinate political dissenters at will. He could even assassinate his own allies if they let him down. Putin was everything Trump wanted to be. But since then, he's shown his weakness. The only reason he is still president is because the Wagner rebellion voluntarily stood down. And even now, the only thing stopping Putin from falling is the potential for Trump to ease the pressure on him by withdrawing support from Ukraine and maybe also easing economic sanctions on Russia. It should have been easy for Trump's attitude towards Putin to change. He's a loser now. Why is Trump fanboying over a loser? And then, as I discussed recently, the dollar signs in Trump's eyes over the offer of lucrative rebuilding and rare earth excavation from Zelensky, that had the potential to keep Trump back in Ukraine rather than Russia. He gets nothing if he backs Russia. But Trump's response to this phone call makes it look like, Putin's still got him wrapped around his little finger, whether directly or indirectly. It even drew an unusual response from Nigel Farage. Now, Farage, as we know, is a bit of a Putin asset himself. Blames NATO for every invasion Russia's ever carried out, including this one. But he has apparently suggested that Ukraine should join NATO, that's the way that this should be going, even though he used very careful language. I looked past the headline of exactly what he said. Very careful language to avoid directly contradicting what Trump has said and what Trump might do. But just a few weeks of Trump's second term, and look where we are. North Korea calling out human rights abuses. Nigel Farage arguing for the expansion of NATO. And you can already see the problems that Trump is causing for the far right in Britain. It's not just Farage now having to be careful about his positioning. The Daily Mail seemed to have a bit of a nervous breakdown this morning. Their loud and proud headline today: Trump's shock call with Putin to end the war, but will peace deal betray Ukraine? Caught between wanting to worship Trump, but recognising that Putin's not exactly popular in Britain. And, by the way, nor is Trump. The Trump behaviour, which doesn't cause him problems in America, of course, proven to be a little bit awkward for his supplicants in Britain and around the world. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, please click the like button and subscribe for further content. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can click the join button for memberships. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you later.